diet. You can't sit there and go to McDonald's and eat cheeseburgers and get growth hormones and saturated fat into your bloodstream and expect the ozone to oxidize that and your lyme. You're living in a pipe dream. So you really have to watch how much. That's not to say you can't have some of your favorite foods while you're doing this in moderation, of course. But recognize you're taking a 6 month to a year chunk. And if you're going to do it this route, it has to be like going to a doctor appointment. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are my 5-day intensive days. I don't miss any form of oxygen therapy during those days. On those 5 days, I'm going to eat organically vegan. On the weekend, I'll have my 1 cheeseburger and maybe I'll skip half a day of treatment. I won't do 2 days of treatment because life is short and you have the right to live. But recognize, the longer that you take to give yourself a break, the longer it's going to take you to get this stuff out of your system. After about the 3rd month of IV therapy and all that, my symptoms went away. I mentioned 95%. Now, over the last 3 months, I had a recurrence of almost everything I had as a child. I had a mini chickenpox outbreak.
A what?
Chickenpox, like a mini chickenpox outbreak that lasted for a day. I used to get like white canker sores in my mouth as a child, and when I got older they went away. But I had an outbreak of the white canker sores in my mouth, and that lasted like half a day and then was gone. Then my warts came back in the same spot I had it lasered off as a child. Came right back, and I was like, oh, I have to go back and get it lasered again. It was gone in 2 days. So it's like my immune system was like layers of an onion. The stuff was starting to peel out. And I mentioned that your immune system is like a cup. So this is actually taking, now I might not have killed the Lyme yet, but maybe I took Epstein-Barr out of that equation. Maybe I took chickenpox out of that equation. You're not going to know unless you spend millions of dollars on your blood work and track every second of every, no, why do that? Look at your sheet. Okay. Wow, my symptoms are almost gone. Don't stop the oxygen therapy until this sheet is white. It's pretty simple. And then over here is where you want it to be. For me, I wanted to open a karate school. I had all my life goals that I was prevented from doing because of this list. So they have to be connected in a way. And I would say now that I'm very skeptical of antibiotics. I had a really bad time with the yeast, which I remedied using 3-lock and 5-lock, as well as NSI 1535 billion. I took massive doses of probiotics, and then I kept on with that hyperbaric and the oxygen therapies and ozone therapy, and that really got a good boost. So now my wife was having a hard time getting IV therapy. She has really tiny veins. I mean, she needed a vein light. Depending on how good your veins are, you may or may not be able to do the full 6 months to a year of IV therapy. That would be optimal. But that doesn't mean that there's lost hope. You can do rectal insufflation, ear insufflation, if you're a woman, vaginal insufflation, imbibing medical grade water that's been bubbled. The water has to be ice cold to hold a lot of ozone, and you should bubble it for a good half hour and then chug it down quick. There's ozone sauna. There's lots and lots of modalities that you can use. Products like Ozone that mix oxygen and magnesium and water that you can drink down. There's other ways to get oxygen into your system. But I will tell you that no matter what way you get oxygen into your system, it's going to benefit you. We're walking around in an oxygen depleted environment. The Earth used to have 32 parts per million of oxygen. Behind a cab in Brooklyn, you're probably breathing 5 parts per million if you're lucky. And you have to take into consideration how connected you are to your environment. Your immune system and your makeup and your mind and all of that comes full circle with the food you eat, with the air you breathe, and with the water you drink. And it's really that simple. And for me, taking on the oxygen therapy was a simple logical step, as simple as saying my T1 cells use peroxide. So why wouldn't I put more oxygen in my system, especially if the air is not holding it anymore? And what ended up happening was after a full year of oxygen therapy, I had like a period of awakening, a sense of euphoria. I was diagnosed with chronic depression, which I now know was nothing more than Lyme ravishing my system, and I was so depleted of energy that I got depressed from that. I wasn't depressed, because now I run a karate school. People call me Mr. Happy. I'm always happy, I'm smiling, I have energy to do things that I used to not be able to do. But Lyme is insidious, and it gets into your bloodstream, and it's your bone marrow, and it's your blood brain, and it will come back eventually, and let you stay on some kind of oxygen therapy. Anyone that tells you that O3 it's going to kill everything completely is lying. It's just not possible. You would have to live on it to make, in my opinion, you would have to live on it to make it to the point where you'll never be able to get it all out, because 2 weeks later you're going to get something new. So what ends up happening is you have to find a comfortable mode of living where you can balance your therapies with how you feel and find a nice way. So, okay, I'm going to do it 3 days a week. If you're not feeling good after 3 days a week, then you add that fourth day. And you don't want to get carried away and obsessed with it. You want to just find something that's doable, repetitive, and that works. And you have to let the two sheets kind of like, even if it's in your mind, okay, I'm feeling really tired 3 days now. Okay, maybe I have a cold. No, I don't have a cold. 2 weeks later, I'm still feeling really tired. Well, then, yeah, the 3 days a week is not enough. You're getting a resurgence. And I had a little bit of a resurgence after my year, but I got 3.5 years of complete symptom-free. And mind you, I walked around for 2 years and nothing worked. So for me to be symptom-free for 3.5 years was nothing short of a miracle. My hips started to hurt again. And my eye twitching came back a little bit. So I started doing my hyperbaric therapy again. And now I'm starting the IV therapy again. And
so hold on. So you were, after the 6 months of Ozone IV therapy...
Yeah, I would have liked to have done the IV therapy for a year. I don't think I had a long enough time to do the IV therapy. And the reason for stopping was threefold. One, it became very, very hard to get into Manhattan from New Jersey, find parking, and having just opened a new karate school. I was like, I don't have that time. And two, my wife couldn't get the IV therapy for much more than after the 6 month mark, just because of a vein issue. And the third one was just that I was feeling like at that point pretty amazing. So like, after 6 months I had no more symptoms. My sheet was empty. So I was like, I have the insufflation, I can do the ear insufflation, the rectal insufflation, and my hyperbaric therapy at home, and drink Imbibe, Ozone, and let me see if I can manage this going through that. Then I did just that, and I hit the 3.5 year mark totally symptom free. So everything I did worked.
So, okay, but after you stopped the IV therapy, you were still doing all those things at home?
Yeah.
And for 3.5 years.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would say like at least 3 times a week I did something. I maybe did a hyperbaric dive one morning. 2 days later, rectal insufflation. And I would just mix and match depending on how it felt. Now, if I had the flu or got sick, I did twice a day hyperbaric. Boom, it was done. I mean, I had the flu last year for 2 weeks. The whole swine flu that everyone got. I had it for 2 days. Everyone had it for 2 weeks. It was crazy. People were like, how are you better already? And I was like, I would tell you, but you have to watch this video. So